Hello, my beautiful tribe. How is everybody doing today? I hope everyone is having an amazing day. It is hot again in Texas. Big surprise. Summer in Texas and it's hot. Yeah, it's hot out today. So I am sitting in the shade. And I have this song that keeps playing in my head over the last 2 days. Actually, it was playing yesterday in my head as well. And one of the lines in the song is, "We've been better, we've been worse." And it's talking about basically this gentleman looking at his life from 30,000 feet, and that's actually what it's called, 30,000 feet. If you're interested in popping it up and seeing what I'm talking about, it's actually a really good song. Forget the name of the guy who sings it. It's like right on the tip of my tongue, but anyway, I'll post it in the comment section. But anyway, so the song keeps kind of popping in my head, and I'm like, why is this song popping in my head? Why can't I get rid of it? Other than I just found it, but it's really, it's like popping in at very interesting times, and I always pay attention because music is so important to me. I always pay attention to when something like this is continually playing in my head, especially like a small segment, because usually there's a message for me in that small segment, and then I come and I share my messages with you lovely people. And this has actually definitely been a topic over the last, well, definitely the last week, I'll say. We'll leave it at week, but it's definitely been a topic over the last week of this, things have been better, but they've also been worse too. It was interesting because I've had lots of people, clients particularly over the last little while, talking to me, particularly my couples clients, talking to me about like their relationships and wishing that they could almost go back to 5 years, 10 years, 15, 25 years ago, when things were hot and fiery and fierce or whatever was going on. But basically to the point where they were different people. Way back when they were different people. And like the beautiful memories, and they're being very focused in on those memories and comparing everything now to then, to who they were then. So I've had all these clients coming to me, and I'm like, yeah, but you're a different person. You've grown so much. You've changed so much. Like, so much has gone on. You'll never be that particular person again, and the relationship will never be the same again, whether that is for better or for worse. And interestingly enough, yesterday I was hanging out with a friend later in the evening, and I had this moment and it was just like a moment, because I do try to stay pretty present in whatever I'm in the moment, especially if I'm like having a conversation. I like to try to stay really, really present with whoever I'm talking to. But so I was sitting with this friend, and I had this moment where I was like, not taken out, but like taken kind of into the past, and I was like, wow, this feels like really reminiscent and nostalgic. I was like in a nostalgic place of like, this feels like us 5 years ago. This moment is just, it really reminds me of back then, and it feels good. It was a total feel good moment. It was a like, wow, this feels like way back then. And then we went on with our conversation, and then this morning when I had a client email me about this exact topic, and then with this song coming in and just several other things, I was like, yeah, but we were different people. Me and this friend were different people. And the beauty of us growing in relationship, and particularly let's focus, like I know I brought friendship in it, but let's focus in on our intimate relationships, particularly those deeper relationships. We can never expect them to be the same as we grow. And I think we get really comfortable with how a dynamic is working in our lives, how something feels, what people are doing, and we get really comfortable. And then when that ends up breaking apart, we want that back. And the truth is we can never get that back. And so what we end up doing is we focus in on the past instead of focusing in on the beauty of what is right now, what is beautiful in that relationship now, how each person has grown, how each person has truly expanded. And usually when a relationship is changing, usually it's getting more authentic. And I mean, there are times when somebody goes completely inauthentic and out of integrity and all of that, but in just normal relating, as we're developing our relationship, we're seeing different aspects of our partners, our friends, anybody who are in this deeper connection with us, even our children, if you have children, this deeper level of them. And we begin to take off masks, we begin to evolve, we become more authentically us in relationship. We lose that, especially if it's, take out children here, if it is, you know, a romantic relationship especially, we begin to take off these masks. So we get rid of this new relationship energy that happens in all relationships, and we really settle in, and we start to see deeper elements of that person. And so at the beginning of a relationship, yeah, it can be amazing, it can be fiery, it can be fierce and fun and exciting, but that is not neither person is ever showing their full self there. As you develop, you get to see different aspects of both people. Now, I don't ever believe that we can fully show all of us, because the truth is there's aspects of each of us that we don't know. Like there's aspects of me that I'm still developing, I'm still learning, I'm still growing into, I'm expanding into, I haven't even seen of myself. And the same as you too. So anybody that is stagnant is dead. So we're always expanding, we're always diving deeper into self. But as a general rule, we are getting more authentic, and we begin to take off those masks, and we become more just real in a relationship. And so to look at a relationship and go, oh, well, it was so good back then. Well, you're comparing different people. You're comparing the you of however long. You're comparing that other person to however long, and your perception of that person at that time, because you weren't able to fully see them. But just like right now, you have a perception of any relationship that you're in. And this kind of goes even beyond our relationships. This morning I wrote an article actually about my orgasm. I wrote an article. I had been doing some sexual work, and there was a level of orgasm I had gotten to, and I was like, wow, I have not been here to this depth, this fire. It was all on like what did I call it? Volcanic sexual energy. But it was this heat, this intensity, this depth that I had not been at in a very long time. And I was like rubbing right up on the surface of that. It was almost like, I was like right there. And I've been struggling to get to that depth, which we're always flowing and fluid in our sexuality. And so you're never going to find the exact same depth. And I remember having a second of going like, I wish this was, and like looking at nostalgic and going like, oh, I remember when I got to this depth, when it was so good, when it was so amazing, when that fiery energy would work like this and feel like that, and then this would happen, and I kind of got into that. Well, that is taking me in that moment, out of the present moment. It was not experiencing, not breathing into that volcanic energy and releasing that resistance to it in that moment. And I have people all the time go, well, if you're like, you obviously can't orgasm. Well, the fact is our orgasms are big and deep, and if you don't find the end point of orgasm, you don't find there, it's not a point you reach and you're done. That's a climax. That's not what we're talking about. But this like depth of orgasm, and it's always flowing, it's always fluid, it's always different. It's always different. And so to compare it with with previous times, well, I wasn't the same person. My sexuality wasn't the same. You know, my partner wasn't the same. All of this was different. And so there's different energies coming together. So of course it's manifesting differently. There's different traumas in my body now that I didn't have then, which I had different traumas at that point. You know, it is this conglomeration, and I think we look at not just our relationships, not just our sex, but at our lives. And we like to compare with what was like, instead of just going, what is right now? What feels good right now? What is orgasmic about this experience right now? What is beautiful about this experience? How can I learn from this? And I think it's harder for a lot of people when they are having a moment or a time period where they feel like they are in the worst, not the better. We've been better or we've been worse. But when you're in the worst, I think it is easier to slide into this. And I have several clients that are in this right now going like, oh, I wish. But remembering that there is a middle ground, and also when you were in your best, a lot of times we're not really present in those enough in those moments. We don't realize that those were the good moments, the best moments, until later. It usually takes hindsight for us to go, that was freaking amazing. Like, yes, we might be in that moment, go like, that was amazing. That was an amazing like chat, or that was amazing sex, but it usually isn't in that moment. Usually afterwards we go, oh, like I wish we could go back to that. And so it is realizing that, like, first of all, you don't know that you've had your best moments yet. But you also, the truth is, even at our worst, we move through that worst. And that worst, that time period where it's like, oh, like this doesn't feel good right now. This isn't our best. This isn't my best, are usually some beautiful grounds. I think I'm getting bit by ants. Is usually a beautiful ground for expansion and growth, and really tuning into a deeper level of self. That is where a lot of our growth comes from. There are people who are like good growth doesn't come from anything but like when you're down and down and really struggling, which I disagree. I actually think you can be at the top of your game and still growing. But many times we find some true growth, we find true expansion when life is challenging, when a relationship is challenging, when we're not at our best. That is when we really find out who we are at our core. And also realizing there's this beautiful middle ground. Like, it doesn't have to be I've been better or I've been worse, but it's like I'm good right now. And really getting into that on a daily basis of like, when you are having anxiety, when you have all this stuff coming into your head going, I'm good right now. Right now, life is good. Life is good. Because the truth is, most of the time we're good. We really are good. We might be borrowing trouble from tomorrow. We might be focusing in on our troubles from yesterday or last week. But right in this moment, usually we're good. We're good. If we let go of all this noise that's in our head, usually we're really quite good. And we really are not appreciating and having true gratitude in those moments for the good that is happening. And so, yeah, I think there is this like, yeah, we've been better, we've been worse, but it's okay. Like, it's all part of this beautiful process. And to stop trying to compare your today to your yesterday. And also even, I know for myself, like, I'm very goal-oriented in that, like, I have big dreams, I have big goals, and I'm like, yeah, I'm getting there. I'm going to get that. But also not getting caught in that, not depleting now because of what you desire. I wrote an article on that as well a couple days ago. You can find that in the feed. But on Facebook, if you're not watching this on Facebook, you're going to have to jump over to Facebook or my site, which has all my articles, all my sensual reflections. But I think also not focusing in too much on the future, like seeing it, feeling it, enjoying it, but then also remembering that right now is that beautiful middle ground, and feeling the feel goods right now, and really getting into that juicy energy right now, getting really present, and realizing that you're not that person that you were, and you are becoming that person that you want to be. But the fact is, you're never going to become that person you want to be if you are not fully being you right now. You're never going to get there. And so it is you being fully you right now. Yeah, you've had better. Yeah, you've had worse, but you're good right now. You're good right now. And maybe you're at your best right now. Maybe right now is your best, and just keep rocking that. Really keep in that vibration of that good energy. But to stop focusing in on the nostalgia. Like, yes, we have these moments, we have memories, and they can be beautiful. Like I said yesterday, I had this beautiful memory with a friend, and I was like, oh, like this feels like old times. This feels like old times, and that feels good. That feels good. That brings up a beautiful sensation. And it's okay to have that moment of like, oh, like this feels like old times. Like that's really nice. This is really nice. But then get back present in the moment, to not focus, not go off with that thought, not attach and decide to like drive down the river with that thought, because then you're taking away from the right now. So that is my message for today. And the same thing goes for your orgasm, goes for your business, goes for just you as a person and your growth and development and expansion. So yeah, on the expansion note, if you are wanting to expand, I do one-on-one coaching. I know I've been focused a ton on my groups going on right now, all my workshops and in-person stuff. I've been really focused in on, but make sure that you check out my expansion coaching. I do sex coaching, I do joy and passion coaching, and purpose coaching. You can find all that at addisonbell.net. This weekend, I have Summer Female Orgasm Camp coming up in the DFW area. It is my favorite event of the entire year. And so make sure that if you are in the DFW area, check that out. You can find that at my events page at addisonbell.net. I know that event is almost filled. So if you want to have your butt in those seats, you better get registered now. But that is an amazing event. I love it. It is so beautiful, so expansive, and you realize how to find that depth of orgasm that I was talking about in my article and earlier in this video. So you can find that. Other than that, I have tons of events going on, so check that all out again at addisonbell.net on the events page. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for another Addison Unleashed. Stop faking your life, guys, and go start claiming it. All right, I love you. Blessings.